Guys, it's never too early to look ahead, and our friends over at FanDuel agree. These are my best bets, sleepers, and more when it comes to Heisman Trophy odds for the 2025 college football season. Hello, everyone. I'm Chris Phillips of SEC Unfiltered. Appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn notifications. Check us out via podcast, wherever you get your podcast. You can also find us across all social media platforms as well as our website, secunfiltered.com. The following is brought to you by our friends over at FanDuel. Visit FanDuel.com/SECU to join today and get started with $300 in bonus bets when you win your first $5 bet. Again, guys, that's FanDuel.com/SECU to get $300 in bonus bets today. It's never too early to look ahead. The 2025 college football season will be here before you know it, and our friends over at FanDuel tend to agree with me as they're releasing odds, spreads, totals, whatever it might be for the 2025 season. Some of the most intriguing lines came out, Heisman Trophy odds, and as you can imagine, there are a number of SEC stars on that list today. I'm going to give you my favorites, some sleepers, where's the best value, and where you should put your money in regards to Heisman Trophy odds going into the 2025 college football season. That being said, guys, let's go ahead and pull up the latest odds to win the 2025 Heisman Trophy. And guys, if you're watching on YouTube, as you can see on my screen, how about that? Garrett Nussmeier, as of right now, as we sit here on Wednesday, January the 22nd, 2025, LSU quarterback Garrett Nussmeier is the favorite to win the Heisman Trophy in the upcoming season with odds of plus 900. You then got Texas quarterback Arch Manning right behind him at plus 950. Tennessee quarterback Nico Iamaleava at plus 1100. I accidentally put Carson Beck in here. It was just bad habit. Of course, he is now at Miami now, but he is at plus 1800. How about South Carolina quarterback Lenoris Sellers at plus 2,000. Oklahoma QB John Mateer at plus 2,500. Florida QB DJ Lagway at plus 2,500. Ole Miss quarterback, who is your new starter in Oxford, at plus 3,000. That's Austin Simmons. Georgia starting quarterback Gunnar Stockton at plus 3,300. How about Alabama wide receiver Ryan Williams at plus 3,500. A&M starting quarterback Marcel Reed at plus 4,000. Auburn starting QB Jackson Arnold at plus 4,500. Potentially Alabama QB1 Ty Simpson at plus 5,000. New Mizzou quarterback Bo Pribula at plus 9,500. And then Austin Mack, who again is challenging Ty Simpson for that QB1 job there in Tuscaloosa, sits at plus 10,000. Now, there are other long shot odds on there, like, for example, Taylon Green, I believe. Arkansas quarterback is plus 15,000. You've got some others. Nate Frazier has odds as well. I'm trying to think who else. Diego Pavia has odds, but I stopped it at plus 10,000 because I feel like anything past plus 10,000, I mean, we're really just shooting for the stars at that point. We got to keep it somewhat realistic. Now, again, outside of the mistake I made with Carson Beck, as you can see, these are all just SEC guys, which makes sense for us. There are, of course, other players across college football scattered in, mixed in here in the Heisman Trophy odds. But again, we're going to focus on the SEC guys specifically. I mean, again, which of these? Is it as simple as Garrett Nussmeier and Arch Manning at the top? They're the favorites. Is that where you should put your money? I think there's a lot of value here. Again, when it comes to favorites, when it comes to sleepers. Now, listen, my favorite here, I would not go. I do like Garrett Nussmeier at plus 900, but I'd probably go with Arch Manning plus 950. If I have to identify a favorite here, the only hesitation I've got with Garrett Nussmeier, because, again, I think it sets up really well. And I think what you're going to hear a lot this offseason, and it makes sense, right? Garrett Nussmeier, going to make that year 2 jump. We saw Jalen Daniels do it. We saw Joe Burrow do it. Garrett Nussmeier's on that same trajectory and that same path. And while I understand where folks are coming from, I just got to see it from Nuss. Like, I don't know if he's quite that level of player. I don't know if he's quite that level of guy. If he can cut the turnovers in half, guys, well, then we're cooking. And I think Garrett Nussmeier can get LSU to 10 wins. If he does that, he's going to be a huge part of the reason why. And so, I mean, I think you could talk about Garrett Nussmeier at minimum being in the conversation. But, guys, when you look at Arch Manning and Steve Sarkisian's offense and the weapons they continue to bring in, and, guys, let's be honest, when you factor in the schedule, Texas is probably going to be in the SEC title game again. At least they're going to have a great opportunity, right? They start the season at Ohio State, but, I mean, you got to go to Athens as well with a brand new quarterback, Gunnar Stockton, a lot of moving pieces in Athens. Outside of that, guys, it's just like it was in 2024. Pretty manageable schedule. I'm also a huge believer in what Arch Manning is and what he can be. You talk to Texas folks, I mean, the football IQ people talk about, they've never seen a guy with such football IQ. We all know he's got the build and the arm strength, and he's also a runner as well, which that's going to be interesting how Steve Sarkisian uses him. Typically, Sark is not a big fan of running quarterbacks, but you've got to utilize that when it comes to Arch. So if I'm betting on a favorite, I'm probably going with Arch Manning. I'm probably going with Arch at plus 950. Again, like Garrett Nussmeier, if you want to sprinkle some on plus 900, I wouldn't hate it. But of those two guys right now, I think Nuss is more of the risk. I think Arch Manning. And guys, you got to think about this too. To win the Heisman Trophy, right? You don't just need to be a great player, right? Let's be honest. You need to be a great player and be marketable and have hype and hoopla surrounding you. And guys, Arch Manning's got that built in. Having that Manning name, he's got that built in. I mean, there's not going to be a guy we talk about probably more this offseason than Texas quarterback Arch Manning. So, guys, if he's playing well, you know the hype machine and the Heisman campaign, it's already built in at this point, essentially. So, I think that's something important as well. Like, you think about Travis Hunter winning it last year, right? Travis Hunter versus Ashton Genty. Not saying Hunter didn't deserve it, but did it not help that he was on Colorado, his coach's prime? You know, there was this offseason hype and buzz, and all that was already built in. Ashton Genty had a great year, but he didn't have that. So I think that's also going to help Arch Manning. So I'm betting on a favorite. I'm going Arch plus 950. Now, as you look down this list, going with more of a sleeper here, talking to folks in Tuscaloosa, they think, and I tend to think, Ty Simpson's going to win that quarterback job, okay? They think he's going to. Now, you see Ty Simpson and Austin Mack listed here, so it's still an open competition. We don't know that for sure. But Ty Simpson at plus 5,000, guys. I mean, Bama's got a lot back. They got a lot of weapons on offense. They got a loaded wide receiver core. And Kalen DeBoer has not forgotten how to call plays. A lot of this will come down to, do you think Bama's washed and Kalen DeBoer's no good, or do you think Bama bounces back and gets to the college ball playoff? And I think Ty Simpson could be a really, really big reason. Again, it's a long shot. He's plus 5,000. But if Bama gets back to the playoff and quarterback, and I think quarterback is the pick to click for them. If quarterback clicks, Bama's going to the playoff. I really genuinely believe that, because you look at what they got on defense coming back. I mean, they've got as much coming back, guys, as anybody in the SEC. And I know the schedule's difficult. You got to go to Georgia. You know, I understand that you start the year in Tallahassee. What does that really mean? But, I mean, I'm not saying it's a shoe-in, but I do like Ty Simpson plus 5,000. Actually, I love that. I love those odds as a long shot pick. I love those odds. Love those odds as a long shot pick. Love Ty Simpson at plus 5,000. I think he's going to be a better fit in Kalen DeBoer's offensive system. He's going to be a better fit for what DeBoer wants to do. And again, you got a great wide receiver core coming back. Offensive line should be solid. You're going to have a solid running game. And if the quarterback clicks for them, Bama's back in the playoff. And if Bama's back in the playoff and you're getting solid quarterback play, it's almost a shoe-in. Whoever's under center is going to be in New York. Because if you're the starting quarterback for Alabama, and Alabama's really good, and you're really good, you're going to get a lot of hype. You're going to get a lot of national recognition. You're probably going to get a lot of Heisman conversation. So I love Ty Simpson plus 5,000. Sprinkle a little bit on it. Long shot odds. But I think he's a great sleeper to win the Heisman Trophy going into the 2025 college football season. As you look at the rest of the list, guys, Lenoris Sellers at plus 2,000 is fascinating. I don't think he's going to win the Heisman. I don't think he's got enough help around him, admittedly, but he's a heck of a player. Dual threat. Hey, how about DJ Lagway? Speaking of, very similar skill set, plus 2,500. Now, I think he might have the help around him. What if Florida wins 10 games? What if Florida makes the college football playoff? DJ Lagway plus 2,500. Again, you're talking long shots, talking more so long shots. You know, the one I glossed over, a lot of Tennessee fans are probably kicking and screaming right now, Nico Iamaleava plus 1,100. He's fascinating. He is fascinating. You talk about a guy that needs help. Receivers have got to catch the football, man. They got to make big plays for him. No Dylan Sampson. It's going to be on Nico. And Josh Heupel, of course, but it's going to be on Nico to really get that offense humming. I don't love him as a Heisman pick, though. I think the odds are high. I think the odds are really high. What about Austin Simmons plus 3,000? You know Ole Miss is going to score points. And I tell you this, I was in Oxford for that Ole Miss-Georgia game. I loved what I saw from Austin Simmons. I mean, that one drive. I know it was one drive. It was one drive. I don't want to overreact to one drive. But the poise, the moxie, the way the ball just explodes out of his hand. He's got Caden Lee back at wide receiver. They've added, of course, other weapons. I mean, Ole Miss, you could count on every single year being top 2 or 3 when it comes to portal classes. They finished with the top 15 signing class as well. So they're going to have plenty of talent. A lot of the offensive line is back. Going to have plenty of talent there in Oxford. Austin Simmons should thrive. Gunnar Stockton at plus 3,300. I tell you, you can watch that Notre Dame game where he wasn't the problem. He wasn't why they lost. With his skill set, too, he's mobile. He's going to run the football, do a lot of things on the ground Carson Beck could not do, right? Going to do a lot of things that way that Carson could not do. And with the way Georgia upgraded their receiver position, they had issues with drops, right? Guys just could not catch ball. We saw that in the bowl game. Saw that against Notre Dame. Saw it in the playoff, I should say. Maybe Gunnar Stockton might be worth sprinkling a little bit. Might be worth sprinkling a little bit. So when you go down this list, guys, again, I think is the favorite. If I were going to say, let's throw out a couple $100 bets. Or if you want to go 25 or whatever your unit is. My unit's typically 25. But I like to round it out, make it even. These are all 100 to win whatever the odds are. So Arch Manning, 100 to win 950. Lenora Sellers, 100 to win 2,000. I'd throw bets on these guys. My favorite would be Arch Manning. I'd throw a bet on Arch Manning, and then my long shots would be Gunnar Stockton at plus 3,300. So I'd go Arch Manning plus 950, Gunnar Stockton plus 3,300, Ty Simpson, which is my favorite long shot bet at plus 5,000. And if you want to go one more, DJ Lagway plus 2,500 would probably be my other one. If you wanted to throw something on Garrett Nussmeier as the favorite right now in the clubhouse, I wouldn't hate it. But those 4 I mentioned would be my favorites on the board. So, guys, what do you think? You agree with me? Do you disagree? Is there somebody else I did not even talk about that you think is going to win the 2025 Heisman Trophy that deserves a bet? What do you think? What are your best odds? What are your favorites? And who are your sleepers in the SEC to win the Heisman Trophy in the 2025 college football season? Guys, before we get out of here, again, it's all brought to you by our friends over at FanDuel. FanDuel Sportsbook, providing us with all of the odds. I want to tell you about our friends over at FanDuel. Guys, from the first whistle to the final drive, FanDuel takes the NFL playoffs to the next level because right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's $300 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. Guys, the FanDuel app gives you everything you need for live bets, same-game parlays, and so much more. Plus, when you get paid, when you win, you're going to get paid instantly. Just visit FanDuel.com/SECU to join today and get started with $300 in bonus bets. That's FanDuel.com/SECU. Make this playoff season unforgettable with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Must be 21 plus and present in select states. for Kansas and affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 plus and present in D.C. First online real money wager only. $5 deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expires 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. Again, that's our friends at FanDuel. FanDuel Sportsbook providing us these Heisman Trophy odds. Who are your favorites? Who are your sleepers? Who are your best bets when it comes to the Heisman Trophy in the 2025 season? Guys, that's going to do all for me. Appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in. Again, make sure you like, subscribe, turn notifications. Check us out via podcast, wherever you get your podcast. You can also find us across all social media platforms, as well as our website, secunfiltered.com. Until next time, I'm Chris Phillips of SEC Unfiltered. Appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in, and we will catch you on the other side.